Claudia Garcia on the stand, and she has just delivered some devastating testimony to the defense. Unless they can destroy her on cross-examination, she is nailing the nails in the coffin. John Carro, what can the defense do with her at this point? She delivered that as calmly, as coolly as a cucumber, right down to the car color of the Cherokee.
Right. I think you just have to do an overall credibility attack. I mean, not directly go after her, but all the inconsistencies. I mean, here's the dilemma.
What inconsistency?
Well, not reporting to the police for 3 or 4 months.
That's inconsistent with what?
Well, with, you know, the whole package, okay? We see that, you know, when she contacted people, she didn't go to the police. She didn't go to the police. She went to relatives who went to people who know her. And she's added, embellished a little bit, talks about a car full of weapons, which is not in the statement. It's not in the police statement. She now adds...
Now, wait a minute. Why are you saying she embellished it? Maybe she's just recalling it in English for the first time. Recall she didn't speak English at the time she spoke to the relatives the first time.
Well, that would be the argument, but I don't necessarily buy that. Witnesses do have a habit of embellishing and adding things. You have to really look.
John,
I'll agree with you. This is damaging testimony, but I think there are some questions as to why she didn't come forward sooner, what she recalls or doesn't recall.
Well, that doesn't bother me as much about her testimony as much as something you just pointed out, and that is, I believe if someone told me, hey, you see that car? It's full of weapons. That's the kind of thing I would remember and repeat when asked. And she did not repeat that tidbit. Does that mean none of this happened? No. But it is a tiny chink in the armor. It is a tiny foothold for the defense to get in and attack her credibility.
Right, and there's other smaller issues that, you know, a clever lawyer builds up and shows the whole package and creates doubt. I mean, that's what you have to do. This is not a good witness for the defense, but you have to confront it head on. And
the other thing is, I was just reading an article about the ethical duty of defense lawyers. While this defense attorney may think this witness is telling the truth, that there was this encounter, so to speak, even though the defense lawyer thinks she's telling the truth, is he duty-bound to try to cross-examine her, to try to annihilate her in the courtroom, if he thinks his client is innocent?
I think absolutely. You know, whether you believe a witness is telling the truth or not, doesn't prevent you as a lawyer from doing your best to challenge that in the courtroom. Now, it's still your job to try to poke holes in it. You don't sit back and say, gee, it sounds pretty good to me, I have no questions. Your job is to challenge it. Now, if at the end of the day she's still standing...
I've never heard a defense lawyer say that in my life.
If at the end of the... Well, I do all kinds. I mean, I wear a lot of different hats.
Hey, great state's witness.
Yeah, you don't do that. You challenge, and if at the end of the day she's still standing and still credible, you have a problem. But you do have the obligation to go after that person.
Yeah, and the reason that it's been ethically advocated that the defense attorney, even though he's got a truthful witness on the stand from the state, must attack that witness, is because overall that witness could end up convicting an innocent person. So under that theory, they're duty-bound to attack the witness. And it's very hard for me to accept that concept when you think a witness is telling the truth, to go ahead and attack their credibility. Of course, when I was a prosecutor, I thought the defense witnesses were all lying, so no problem.
Never had that problem in real life.
But I can see the defense attorney's dilemma here, because Claudia Garcia, I'm telling you, she is a bomb right in the middle of the defense's case. And how they found her, to me, is incredible.
Well, that's part of the issue of credibility. I mean, you'd expect the normal
just walk up out of the blue and go, hey, he told me he was going to kill his wife.
Yeah, but look at that scenario. Remember me. You're going to see me on TV. You know, at some point, when you actually do see him on TV, the normal, rational person would call the authorities and say, I saw that guy. He was in my store. He told me he was going to. She didn't do that. That's a serious problem.
Well,
I think now they have a pretty decent explanation.
Yeah,
I
was just about to say, did you hear the state? And he got an objection. He was trying to bolster his witness before she was attacked on cross-examination. He was trying to go ahead and suggest to the jury the reason she didn't go to police immediately is because she is still an alien, not illegal. But she doesn't have citizenship yet, did not want to be involved with the police. Did you hear the prosecutor sneaking that in?
Yeah, and I think that creates a pretty good scenario because people who are not comfortable or not yet citizens or have some doubts don't want to get involved in anything that could jeopardize her right to become a citizen.
That's right.
So, I mean, he got it in. And it's, you know, and again, it makes it harder for the defense to challenge her because it sounds pretty plausible as a reason why she wouldn't go, even though they're not going to talk about it anymore, but it was thrown out there.
It got in there. Somebody on the jury is going to remember it, one of the 12. And the other thing is, the state could have gotten it in anyway, ultimately, I think, because after the attack on her credibility, then the state would appropriately be in the position of rehabilitating her character and could then offer this bolstering of the witness. So it was a matter of time before it came in. Is it true? I don't know, but I'm sure we'll hear more of it from the defense. Everyone, that jury is on a lunch recess. They'll be back shortly. You are not missing any live testimony in that Florida courtroom. As we go to break, quick programming note. On Pros and Cons tonight, reaction to a very controversial movie that aired last night. The Mary Kay Letourneau story aired. We all remember Mary Kay Letourneau, the elementary school teacher who was convicted of child rape for having sex with her 13-year-old student and having 2 children by him. Big question the morning after, does crime turn you into a movie star? Also tonight, we'll bring you the very latest on the trial we're covering live today, where a Florida man gunned down his own ex-wife at the gravesite of their daughter's grave. And then last tonight, believe it or not, but an overdue library book can land you in jail. That's Pros and Cons tonight, 6:30, right here on Court TV.